Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Back Post. Today we've got a Chelsea Fulham preview for the upcoming game this weekend, and we have a special guest. We have Carefree Lewis G on the channel from Blues Fans TV. But before I do get into the video, please make sure you like and please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Right, should we get into the video? So, Lewis, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. What are you saying, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for coming on the channel. Really appreciate it.
At any time, bro. And as well, everyone, if you haven't done it already, please like and subscribe.
Listen, I'd say the same about you, but I reckon everyone on our channel knows who you are, mate.
If you guys haven't, I'm like really close to 20k, so it would be greatly appreciated.
Get him there. How many are you off?
Should be about 200 and something now at this point. Yeah, nearly at 200. So yeah, if you want to get me to 200 away, I'd gladly take that.
Listen, I'll do my best, but I can't promise anything.
Hey, you never know. Your pulling power could be like Lampards.
New to the scene, but got better pulling power. I like it. Right. Yeah, like I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about the Fulham game coming up. And but I think just before we do that, we've kind of got to talk about the Morecambe game because it was quite evident that Morecambe game was used as a springboard, wasn't it? Because when you looked at that lineup, see the big stars out there, minimum rotation, we could tell that was used to get us back on this run, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a confidence-based result. We can't really take too much out of it. It's a League Two side. They're in the top 7. It's nothing too deep to take out of it. But Kai Havertz looked in good form. Callum Hudson-Odoi looked the same as we've always expected from him. Yeah, all in all, it was exactly the result we expected. No real shakiness, nothing too much to worry about. Just we're not going to get too overhyped over it because the exact same thing with a 17-game unbeaten run, and look at us now. This is Morecambe. This is exactly what we expected off the result. We did our job. We move on.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. And I mean, we fucking needed it. We absolutely needed it. It came at a great time. But yeah, there's a lot of professionalism, weren't they? Just got the job done, and now we need to use that win. It was a big win. Like we didn't scrape a 1-0, which I was a bit worried, to be fair. I had a feeling we might, but we didn't scrape it. We went out and smashed them as we should. We need to use that going into this one, and some of the lads need to use it. Some of the lads that I think should be playing in this Fulham game. So we'll move on to Fulham. It's moved from Friday to Saturday now, which at first I thought that's not too bad. Fulham to play a couple of days before we have to have a day's extra rest. I thought, yeah, sweet, that's a good deal. Until I realised Leicester, we have to play Leicester a couple of days later, and now there's a day less between then and then. So that kind of annoyed me. I don't know what you think about that.
It's a little bit of both. Like I'm gonna look at a game at a time because that's probably the best way to look at it without worrying about too many variables. Right now, it is better for us. Spurs are playing Fulham in about an hour's time. Well, when this was recorded, and then we got the game on Saturday as well, which means they've got 2 games to worry about in the space of a week. By the time we get to that Fulham game, we've got 2 games to worry about in the space of a week, which means we're in the same position as the Arsenal game where we need to kill the game early and try and be in a position where we can just see out the second half. If we don't finish the Fulham game off early, or even worse, we're chasing the game for long periods, we could single-handedly throw the Leicester City game out as a result too. Because look at the Aston Villa game, the same result for that. We played against Aston Villa with 2 of the 3 same midfielders, a couple of rotations, but still a massively exhausted side, and we got overrun in the second half of that game as well. So we need to kill games off early for our own good. But this game works more towards our hands on a Sunday. So the Fulham-Chelsea game by itself is better off for us. In the long term, it might be a bit more annoying, but same way, it's only one day. It wouldn't make too much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So shrug my shoulders out.
Yeah, fair enough. And to be fair, we needed a bit of a break, didn't we? The Christmas period, I mean, it was hell on everyone, but it was hell on us because we kept fucking losing as well as having to play again. So yeah, you're absolutely right. A bit of break would do us good for Fulham, and then we'll kick on from there. As for the actual game, like you said, we need to kill off early, of course, and I think Fulham are just going to sit deep. Like they're just going to sit deep, have 10 men behind the ball, and that worries me a tiny bit because that's what we've struggled against recently, isn't it?
Yep, exactly that. I'm hoping we play a different formation, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. We need to get an early goal. It's probably the most easiest bit of analysm I could give you, but it's exactly what we need to do because the more they sit deep and the more we struggle to break them down, the more confident they're going to be and the more frustrated we're going to be as well. There's a huge amount of pressure on Lampard. There's a huge amount of pressure on the team. That's also the same way where I'm not going to take Morecambe as too much. Yes, we beat Morecambe 4-0. If we can beat Fulham 4-0, I'll be more happy than that. But Fulham will be itching to get a result against us. They haven't won a game against us since 2006. We know how much we love them jinxes, and you know how much we love Charity FC. Look at Wolves' run of games from the start of December until now. I think they've only won one game. Who was that against?
Guess who?
Arsenal. Hadn't beaten an English team in 6 weeks before facing us. Who did they beat? Us. It's so typical Chelsea, so I can't even be too gassed about this. It's just don't give Fulham Football Club something to get hyped about because they'll never shut up about it.
Oh, listen, it's one of them, and they actually just wouldn't. I've only ever experienced Fulham once, right, as a fan, right, and I went down to Stamford Bridge for I think it was the Palace game a couple of years ago, and I had to travel back up to Birmingham, so I was in at Euston Station at like 11 o'clock at night. It was a late game and everything. I'm knackered. We've won. Everything's okay. I'm there with my scarf, proper like tourist, looking like a tourist and that, right? And then I just hear like rumbles and chants, and out of nowhere, about 50 Fulham fans just come around the corner. And I'm like, oh no, I'm fully geared out in Chelsea, and I just get absolutely rinsed for about half an hour just before my train comes. So that's my only experience with Fulham fans, bro. So that's my only experience. So I always want to beat them just because of that alone, let alone the fact
be real. You go to a derby game, it don't feel like a derby. It might as well just be Chelsea versus who's some random Midlands team, Nottingham Forest or something like that. Away games, Fulham, Chelsea, you could go dressed out in all blue if you wanted. They ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah, nah. These were rowdy enough, but yeah, nah. I've heard that myself as well. But yeah, no, I think you said Lampard's under a lot of pressure, and he's got some serious decisions to make, hasn't he? Like there's some serious, and he's got to show a bit of testicles here, to put it lightly. He's got to make some choices that will define him as a manager. Now, does he now, go with, for an example, Hudson Odoi, who's been arguably one of our best players now, or does he go with Pulisic, who's really fucking good, but he's a little out of form compared to him? Like that's one I want. What do you think on that one?
You got to do it based on form, and on form, Christian Pulisic isn't there yet. And even forget form. I've been talking about Christian Pulisic's injury record. I don't care if he plays one game a week for the rest of the season. I don't care if he plays 30 minutes a week for the rest of the season. Just protect the kid and make sure he doesn't get another muscle injury. Because if he does, we've lost him. We probably lost him full time to injuries. It'll be the next Loftus-Cheek, which I really hope wouldn't be the case for a player of that quality. He's probably our best winger all round. He probably is our best winger. But that's a weapon I'd rather we utilize to its full potential next season. Right now, happily go Hudson Odoi. I've already said numerous times as well, I'll see Timo Werner on the right-hand side if we're going to stick to this same formation, because on the left he stinks, and up front we're just going to cross to him. So we might as well just play him on the left-hand side if we're going to shoehorn him into the team. The Hakim Ziyech don't look fully match fit either.
No, he didn't.
After that Morecambe game, I thought he was poor, to be honest. He grew into a bit more in the second half, but same way it became a game of fitness. And Premier League fitness is always going to be levels above League Two fitness, so he just overran them. I'm not looking too much into the Morecambe game, but also same way, it's one of those where you have to perform. If you don't perform, it's like you're dropping a disaster class against League Two Morecambe. But if you're winning, you're doing well, it's like, okay, it's Morecambe. You did your job. Like, you're not going to get too much praise regardless.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lose-lose, isn't it? I would agree. I'd pick Hudson Odoi. To be honest, I would probably go with the same front three. You just said there you'd want Werner on the right, but I think problem has been Werner, and the problem has been if we're playing Ziyech and Pulisic or Hudson Odoi, there's just spamming crosses to him and he won't get there. But something that I noticed, and it came off a couple of times in the Morecambe game, and obviously you got to compare it to Premier League and stuff, but having Havertz playing in, like getting in the box, arriving in the box when those crosses are coming in, he nutted one down and Werner had a tap in. That was the kind of chemistry he had at Leipzig, and I know it's from a different position, but Havertz has that aerial ability to arrive in the box as well as him. So if we are going to spam crosses in, Havertz can deal with that. Werner can be on the ground, man.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but also to an extent, Havertz needs to get stronger. League Two's
Mm.
calm again. It's League
Yeah,
Two.
yeah,
Premier League, like I've already said, his strength is an underrated part of his game, and I do still agree with that. But there's a different level to it in the Premier League than the
yeah,
Bundesliga.
yeah,
He's strong for someone who looks a lot thinner. He is strong, but he does still need to get a bit stronger. Like I've already said, Kai Havertz as centre forward. Oh, that is a dream, man. Him, and then potentially Timo Werner as an inside forward, or coming off that right hand side. Still, that would be the aim for me. But again, assimilation process. He still needs to get a bit stronger. He
yeah,
still needs to adapt to the intensity of the league. That will take a bit of time. That's more
yeah,
something for the future. Right now, I agree with what you say because we also do lack a serious amount of focal point options in the box in terms of our attack and our midfield as well. I do agree with what you're saying, but it's also about will we be able to properly apply it? If they
yeah,
sit 6 to 7, 8 men behind the box and it's just Olivier Giroud and Kai Havertz as our options, I mean, that's still one more option than we originally had, but good luck. That's all
yeah.
I can really say. It's a change in system that we need more of. Like, we need to play the ball more to feet instead of just spamming crosses the whole time.
Mm. Yeah, no, absolutely, especially in a game like this. No, I do think that's the dream going forward. I think, but I mean, my argument would be that this is a game. Fulham, they haven't looked the best at the moment. This is a game that you can implement that, and of course, we all know Ziyech and Werner and Havertz. These boys haven't had that much game time together. So this could be a good game for that. Obviously, that's one of those difficult decisions Frank has to make. Does he go with it? Does he trust them, or does he go with Olivier, and who can bag a header in the 89th or something ridiculous? Yeah, no, I think that's all we really need to talk about. Unless you got anything else you want to add to it.
Just beat Fulham. Like, literally just that. Do not even get a draw against these lot because
Mm.
Arsenal are 3 points behind us. That's embarrassing enough as it is. If they get level on points, we're finished. We're so finished.
Yeah, man, it's true, and like it's an absolute must win. I feel like a broken record. I've said this too many times now in the past 2-3 weeks, but it's a fucking must win game, especially against Fulham. We need to get back. We need to start chasing the pack again because I don't want to look like Arsenal did a couple of weeks ago. I don't want to be that tragic. We need to win. But yeah, that's it. You got a score prediction, Lewis?
3-1 Chelsea.
Or you think we will let one in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, 3-0. 3-0. It's
Oh,
Fulham.
okay. Yeah, it's
Test
Fulham.
out again. You already know how I move.
Yeah. Listen, I think I was going to say 2 now. I don't think it's going to be too exciting. I think we'll just get the job done and we'll get over it. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Lewis, thank you for being again. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime, man.
Cheers, man. I'll remember that, mate. But yeah, if you made it to this point in the video and you haven't already, please make sure you like. Please make sure you subscribe. And Lewis, you probably don't know this, but at the end of all our videos, we have to say, "Tell your dads." So do you mind doing it?
Tell you what.
Tell your dads.
Tell your dads. Yeah, everyone, tell your dads.
Cheers. Love that.